Is diversification dead? Now, this one even surprised me. I was talking to a financial advisor and I said, it's one of the most difficult periods in time in history to coach a client is when large U.S. stocks are doing better than diversification. Big U.S. companies, it's what we all focus on. It's what the media tends to focus on. Now, if we look at the long run, 1970 through 2018, there's a lot of bad stuff that has happened during that period of time, so it's a good period of time to look at. We see that owning large U.S. stocks, large value, small value, international large, international small, diversification does much better than just owning large U.S. stocks. $318 versus a dollar growing to $318 versus $116. But what really surprised me is when I looked at 1 month periods. What I found was that the S&P 500 beat a diversified portfolio 53% of the time if the holding period was only 1 month. Now, what if it was 1 year? Now, diversification wins out, but only slightly. Now, I would have thought it would have been a big difference. So it's not that unusual for large U.S. stocks to do better than a diversified portfolio if the holding period is short. Now, this is a 49-year period from 1970 through now, and I can break that 49-year period into 7-year bites. And what we see when we do that, only 29% of the time did large U.S. stocks do better than a diversified portfolio. 71% of the time, if the holding period is 7 years, diversified portfolios did better. So the question may come up, well, okay, so in the past, diversification was better, but will that continue? Now, we got to ask ourselves two questions when we ask that. We say, well, okay, so large U.S. stocks, do I think that everything is going to be different now? And that big, well-established U.S. companies are going to want to pay more to use your money in the future? Probably not likely. And the second question we need to ask ourselves is this. Is diversification just a stupid concept? Well, no, we've got 3,000 years of history because Solomon wrote about it in Ecclesiastes 3,000 years ago. He talked about diversifying into all these different areas of the market. It's an old concept and it's a smart concept. We want to diversify. Yes, large U.S. stocks can have a short period of time where they do better, but over the long run, it's not likely that it will continue forever. Diversification is your friend.